G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to take a look at how you can beat burst mode using a time limit team. Now I'm going to be honest, both builds for this burst mode suck completely. I really am not a fan of the burst mode, at least this one. I actually usually quite like burst mode, but this one was really bad. And just wasn't really as enjoyable as I kind of wanted it to be. So yeah, basically the goal here is very similar to the Androids one. Effectively we're just going to kind of stack our way to victory. So we're going to just stack absolutely everything we can. Now it's important basically to increase the boss's defense as much as possible. You would have seen obviously in terms of the, like, how can I say, like modifiers that we applied, that basically we essentially are, for lack of a better term, kind of functioning with a boss that has huge health and huge defense, and just basically is on their own mission. And the reason behind this is quite simple. Like, we effectively just basically want to stack as much as possible. The boss we're also keeping as low as possible in terms of damage, so we can effectively just infinitely outstack him. Is the strategy a lot of fun? No, but it's an alternative strategy for those of you who maybe don't have the Androids units, and it's just basically a way for you to get victory, obviously with stacking units. Now if you have the God units, if you have the movie Goku and Vegeta, then obviously that's also something that's pretty good. At least I would say it's something that can obviously help out and just make life a little bit easier, which is obviously really good. But beyond that, I would say there's not really too much else to do with this team. At the end of the day, it's much of a muchness. The team itself is just about stacking. Otherworld Goku's really good in the third slot, so I would keep him there. He does do a decent job, I would say. At least, for me as a unit, I would say he's pretty usable. Obviously, to each their own. I'm not gonna, like, judge you, I guess, or like decide on how you can adjust the team, but you're welcome to just throw whatever you want in there. As long as they basically have enough defense to last the final stage, you're in for the long haul. This took me like 57 turns, I think, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. But yeah, basically just a pretty solid but functional team build that, I guess most players maybe might just be desperate enough to try, if you are that way inclined. Of course, I do completely understand if you don't want to try out the team this way. It is not a holistically enjoyable experience. I wouldn't say this is peak Dokkan gameplay. In fact, I would probably say this is the absolute worst way to do this. There's much cooler ways if you are someone that's interested. I'm sure other people have come up with much better team builds than I have. But this is just basically to provide some kind of alternative for people that were struggling and couldn't do the Androids team. But again, it's not necessarily the best stage in the world. I don't think this was a well-designed burst mode. Obviously, on the JP side, they had a couple more upgrades that we just don't have on the global side that I think did help them quite a bit. And I think was very crucial to them having a much better experience than we did. But at the same time, it is one of those things. So just basically wanted to give you guys a little bit of a second kind of glance at a team that you can use here. But you are going to be doing this for a long time. Like, again, this is like a plus minus hour and a half experience that you are basically just dedicated to try and get a victory. Eventually your team will reach points where they just do so much damage that they circumnavigate the I guess defenses that you've now given the bosses. But yeah, it's not a holistically succinct experience. It's quite miserable, at least from my perspective. Maybe that's the wrong word to say, but yeah, I really feel like this could have been done a little bit better, at least from from how I feel about it. Obviously, when you get the win at the end of the day, you're not too concerned about things, but I don't know. I don't traditionally like situations where it feels like you're basically backed into like these do or die kind of strategies. Like I need to run this crazy stacking lineup and spend an hour on my phone to try and get a victory. It's just a bit freaking nuts to me. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully it helps you. Technically, I set a higher score than the Android team, so yeah, I mean, if you're looking to set high scores, there you go. But yeah, I would say that overall this burst mode was pretty tough, pretty rough, and yeah, I wouldn't say it was my favorite. But bye.